Okay, I'd like to call the special council meeting to order. So the council is now in session. And the first thing on the agenda, I guess the only thing on the agenda is the first reading on the ordinance to sell the town-owned property on Richardson and Cedar Street, 2nd South Street.
I'll make a motion that we approve that.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor and a second to sell the property. And I guess we ought to read it. Yes, ma'am.
I hope I turn on. First reading of an ordinance to sell the town-owned property referenced below in accordance with the memorandum of understanding between the town of Somerville and JJR Development. It's 213 West 2nd South Street, TMS number 13707040007. 208 Cedar Street, TMS number 13707040005. And 210 West Richardson Avenue, TMS number 13707040002.
Okay, any discussion? If not, all in favor of this, raise your right hand, signify saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise? The ayes carry. Anything else?
Really got to give us a read. Mr. Mayor, I would move that we now adjourn this meeting and reconvene the 10 o'clock meeting, if I can do that all in one motion.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded that we adjourn this meeting and move back into our other meeting. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your right hand and saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise? Ayes carry. Okay, now we're back in our meeting after having a short recess. I'll turn it back over to Ms. Rebecca.
Andrew is speedy and has given you 2 sheets. I will ask him to explain the first one, and I'll ask him to explain both of them. But the first one goes through the revenues again, and then the second one has the special revenue sources of the funds and the amounts. That's financing sources and the total transfers in.
Yes, thank you. I apologize. Try to get too fancy with my Excel spreadsheets, and they didn't add up properly. Added up properly, just pulled the wrong numbers out when I printed. The 2 sheets you have in front of you are the actual correct line items. So the totals didn't change for 2022. That's the total revenue projections we're looking at for each kind of grouping of revenues. And then it continues on to the second page with the total at the bottom. Total transfers in, just a lump sum transfers in. These aren't all technically transfers in. There's some financing sources there, but it allocates by individual source where those additional sources of revenues are coming from. The majority coming from our local hospitalities and accommodations tax, a portion from our state accommodations tax, a portion from our sanitation fund, the American Rescue Plan, which we're working on getting our plan together for the use of the federal money there, then also other financing sources.
What are those other financing sources?
Those are completely the lease purchase options we're recommending for the capital equipment.
So this, all right. So in that instance, the transfers in the actual bottom line number changed from 5.3 million to 6.5 million?
Yes, sir.
And none of these transfers in. Well, let me ask you this: is any anticipated revenues from the yet to be approved Midtown TIF included in this budget?
No, sir.
Oh, I thought they were.
No. The capital projects allocated to that program haven't been added to their capital here. That was the original PowerPoint took those out.
Okay. Does the spreadsheet for the capital funding, there's another item, there's another one on the, okay,
Yes.
far side that says TIF district. Okay.
Correct, yes.
Obviously, you need to give me that before you leave.
Yes, I've got everything on a flash drive and
Okay.
all my explanations and notes.
I just, we gave first reading to the budget at the May meeting, and that budget was balanced at 43,054,487.
487 or 987?
987. Oh, my memo may be wrong. I said 487.
Okay, I'm just looking at this, I thought I was looking at a spreadsheet. So, but regardless, that's the difference of a few $100s. I guess my question is, I mean, a lot of these numbers have changed, and even some of the,
Yeah, the bond ordinance that you guys approved had 43,054,487. Not bond ordinance, the budget ordinance that you approved, we had first reading on. So that will, any changes that council suggests and any changes that we have, we will have to, your second vote will have to be, with any of those changes in it.
Let me ask you a question, Andrew, on the transfers in the American Rescue Plan. Are you're using 1,193,509. The American Rescue Plan will be, the money that we'll receive will be much larger than that. You're just using a portion of it to balance the budget, right?
Right, these are budget items that are
Okay.
eligible uses of the
And these,
rescue plan.
this is anticipation of this money, which we have not received yet, right?
Correct. We received our allocation. We haven't put the application in to draw down yet.
And so when do you actually plan to receive the money?
I'm waiting on an email from the Department of Treasury to determine what type of account we can put the funds into. Once I get that, Rebecca has the guidelines and I can give her the instructions. As a portal, you go through Department of Treasury, certifying we're requesting the funds, and it'll draw down.
And it's just a transfer to the account. And
Yes.
for metro cities, which the town of Somerville is, we get a direct allocation. So there's no one, we will get the $7.7 million that we have been allocated to get. They can't take that away from us. We don't have to go through the state. Some of your non-entitlement communities have to go through the state, and everyone's kind of scratching their head at this point and worried that the state is going to take a portion of that once it, you know how it is. Once something goes to Columbia, you never get it back whole. So some of those are worried about that. For us, because we're a metro city, we will get our money directly. It'll come in 2 tranches. So once we fill out the paperwork and have an account set up, we'll go in their portal, request the funding, and it'll be deposited into a bank account. It's a little crazy.
Andrew, just kind of eyeballing these kind of change in numbers from what was provided to us previously. The Excel spreadsheet that we received last week, right? For real property taxes, for example, it had at 11,601,898, and this morning's numbers are 13,451,648. So about a $1.8 million difference to the good. Are you? I'm not sure where the 11.6 came from, but are you confident in the projection of 13.4 million in real property taxes rather than 11.6 million?
Yes, sir. I do apologize. The first worksheet, I have about 4 spreadsheets. The original kind of summary I provided pulled off of one source. This pulled off the same source, but the individual line items for some reason were pulling outside of another number. So the totals were correct,
Right.
but 11 million was actually another iteration of a previous budget. It was just a wrong number. I apologize again. 13.4, I received as of now, all the assessed values from the counties. Took our millage, took our collection rates that are done in the past. We're a little early with assessments because they haven't done the full 4 to 6%. So really the assessments are a little bit higher, but we've taken some other steps to reduce the assessed values to make sure we account for any changes from 6 to 4. We ran the number 2 or 3 times, and this does seem like a confident number we can put in for property taxes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The business licenses, looks like the other big jump in revenues from what we were provided last week. It goes from about 4.93 million to 5.5 million. You have which is not huge. I mean, difference is a little over 500,000, but would appear to be, on the new numbers, it would appear to be a pretty substantial jump from 2021, which was 3.9 million. So if you're comparing, and maybe it's not apples to apples, but it's about over $1.5 million increase from the previous year. Do you have the same level of confidence that the right projected revenue for business licenses is actually 5.5 million and not closer to what we had last year, which was apparently 3.9?
Yes, sir. Confidence levels are not as confident there just because we don't have the data. We don't have assessed values to kind of make the calculations. The previous year is the 6-month period, although we did account for majority of the collections up until June 30th. We do collect from July to December. Added that amount in, looked at actual results from 2020, looked at trends throughout different business areas in our town, and really are as confident as I can be with that number.
And so it looks like the only other significant change, if it changed at all, in projected revenues, I guess we have much more control over because they're transfers in, but the transfers in goes from 5.3 million to 6.5 million. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And it's your professional opinion that you've presented the staff has presented to us a balanced budget?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do we need anything else? Nobody
You know,
has.
are you satisfied with, you mentioned the TIF. I know, we've got to get that done. Are you satisfied leaving that in the budget?
Apparently, it's actually not in the budget.
It's not in the budget, okay.
It's on the spreadsheet.
So that's, okay. All right, are you pretty well satisfied with Andrew's report?
As long as they don't change again, I'm happy.
Yeah,
No, sir.
well, I think that, I think he's worked hard on this budget. It's been a tough year, no question about that. We don't have the cushion we've always had, at least during my years. We just got to ask our department heads and division directors to watch the money each month. We need to watch it as we get the monthly report and make sure that we stay on top of things and hopefully that we go into a good year, with our licenses and permit fees and different sources of revenue that we get. And we're able to accomplish some of these things that we want to get accomplished. I know that numbers change, and Andrew does it, and not me. And thank you, Andrew, for struggling through this period, working on all this stuff.
Yes, sir.
But,
Well, we'll be getting all that new food truck revenue, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, that's
Actually, we'll
right.
have to adjust that because we won't get permits. Just being
know.
funny.
Mayor, if I may, one, I don't think Andrew will be changing the numbers for next reading. And thank you, Andrew, very much for your service and your time.
We've all enjoyed working with you, Andrew. Good luck.
Yeah, I was-
Thank you.
Bob beat me to it. I was going to say thank everybody here. Appreciate everything you've done for me and done for the town. Appreciate your work. And I know like us, y'all don't always get thanked either. So we do definitely appreciate working with us and work for the town. And unfortunately, I did give Rebecca my personal cell number. So if there are questions, I might get a phone call, but
I'm sure Rebecca's not gonna let you get too far
I
for a
will,
while.
I will
No,
track
sir.
you
And I
down.
gave you credit for being smart.
No, no, you did. I'm sorry. Yeah, again, thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion on the floor that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.